Well, hello guys, Fire Alarm 9200, and I'm gonna try and make this intro with a straight face, but today we...
Already laughing.
I told you I couldn't do this with a straight face.
We apologize, folks. Earlier,
No.
before we started, there was some kind of distortion with one of our members, as you can see. One of my friends, Matt, the one with the Dewey icon, basically. He
Unfortunately, his face will not be joining
his
us
face was all
tonight.
pixelated, so now we're laughing about an image that it just froze up. One of those don't pause a Disney movie moments, if you will.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's never a good idea. Nick was Herobrine.
So you guys are just gonna see me as Dewey. So yeah.
Yeah. Unfortunately, his face will not be joining us tonight. Maybe for the rest of the week, depending on how things work out.
So I'm going to try my best to do this intro with the straight face from...
Okay, they're not gonna see my face anyway, so they should be good.
Stop laughing, all of you.
Oh, I'm
I don't know
laughing
if that's possible.
on the inside.
I can't help it.
From,
I laugh every minute.
okay, from ZTR HQ, this is Zootopia Week 2019, Day 2, where we're going to be talking about supposedly how we joined the fandom and the stories we have behind it. So, and today we have a new story about how Matt's frozen image has been distorted.
Should we start off with that?
Well, I mean...
I have previously stated that the way that his face was pixelated and froze, it probably will end up becoming the next He-Man meme.
If you want, I could take the one I got and alter it using my editing skills.
I can't...
So if you guys don't mind me, I'm gonna be laughing every minute. So I'm just gonna be laughing in the back.
It's gonna be a while before we actually
So don't mind me.
get started.
Before we can actually, yeah.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. That's...
Yeah.
I needed this laugh, man. Holy crap.
This is
Yeah, I needed it too, because I had a pretty rough day.
Oh man.
Oh my gosh. I gotta try to be as quiet as I can because people are sleeping.
What was
Why
that?
did you have to do that right now?
What?
Wait, what was that?
Jack just farted with his hand.
Well, what happened?
What?
Just like he
I
just
tried
did
to
this.
make you laugh and I said
Oh my God. Okay, can we not do that, please? Let's keep things civilized in here.
Somebody help us. Somebody.
We're not Illumination, are we? Or any
Dude, please stop.
movie.
Oof. Oh my god.
Alright, I'm gonna share this. No.
I'm gonna make it sound so wet.
No, you're not.
This is what, for those of you watching, this is what we do when we're off the live stream, when we're not live. This is what we do.
Behind the scenes on the live
Behind-
stream.
This is going. I already can tell. This is going. This is
It's
going.
just definitely going in the bloopers.
Yeah, it's going in the bloopers tonight, as there's bloopers just to tell people about bloopers.
Well, people do that all the time, so it's not really like it's much of a difference. Oh.
I wonder how many bloopers CNN goes through.
I don't know. I go through quite a bit of bloopers whenever I make a video sometimes.
Yeah.
It's fun to do that.
There's
The
a
stalker
few
up in the
times.
left-hand corner.
Wait, me?
Yeah.
Oh gosh. Oh, yeah. I'm just thinking of the moment where I was trying to film some older ZTR uploads and my editing software wouldn't work, and I'm like, stupid piece of bleep wouldn't work again.
You were like, stupid piece of.
Oh my god.
If this was any other type of call, we could swear our heads off, but because it's YouTube,
That
the
was real.
policies.
Well, I know there's some younger kids that watch us, so we gotta try to make a good example.
My God.
Don't listen to this guy. I don't even know why he's still in ZTR.
Why is he even here? Is the question.
He's just here.
Where's your laptop?
Where's my laptop?
Yeah, no, the other guy.
Where's his? Oh, he's sitting in bed on his phone, distorting more images, I guess.
Exactly what I'm doing.
And I'm going to send him another image to distort.
Okay, are we just gonna spend the whole night talking about distorting images?
Yes.
Or not?
I guess it's just you see, like Tucker's in the corner. He's like, "What is he?"
We're just the two of us, probably the three of us, are just sitting here going like, we're just waiting for things to start.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Distorting. We're trying. So ish.
Going ish.
Yeah, ish. We're trying to. We're starting, ish.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sending something for you to distort, Jack. I'm sending you multiple shit to distort.
I swear to God, if it's one of me, then you are so dead.
Hey, you had me. You were completely
Thanks for
fine
the
with. Okay, now he's gonna go on your Twitter.
Well, joke's on you. I don't post that many photos of myself on my Twitter feed.
I can send you one.
Okay, please do.
Okay, we are clearly getting way off topic here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is a great start.
I agree.
On stream.
I mean, it's not a bad start, I guess, but I mean,
Yeah,
surely we're not going to spend the entire night just
Wait
doing
for everyone to be civilized.
I'm just trying to calm down, and then he throws something else at me, whether it's fart sounds or another distorted image.
Oh.
Or
This is-
bad
Cheese and crackers.
Yeah, exactly.
Literally.
I'm gonna just send you that one B-Man Lego Boy meme I made like a few weeks ago.
You made a video about me?
Yeah, when you went to go see it, you took a picture of yourself behind the.
Oh, right. Just hiding the red eyes.
Yeah, and like this is. It's almost like you're plotting something, so I'm like, I'm gonna have some fun with this.
No, I was trying to pull off my best Pennywise impression. That's why.
I am Pennywise, the dancing clown.
Oh my god.
Come join the Clown Fest. We all float down here. We do. Oh.
All right, so
All right.
Anyway,
the
getting
show
back on
road or
Alright, I sent you a post, Jack, so distort it away. Okay, so now we're going to explain how we got into the fandom, and I guess just to get a good example on what we're doing, I guess I'll go first. Is that alright with you guys?
Perfectly fine with me.
Okay.
Of course,
So-
go ahead.
I feel like I joined the fandom a little bit late in the game. I saw trailers for it, and I wanted to go see it, and I asked my mom if we could go see it, and she's like, I'll think about it, and that never ended up happening. So
Ooh.
we took a road trip down to Texas, and that's where we saw Finding Dory for the first time, and I was still watching more clips of Zootopia. I kind of spoiled myself before actually watching the full thing. So on the way back, it's like a 12-hour drive, so I convinced my mom to pick it up, and she lets my sisters watch it before me. So
Ouch.
yeah.
Garrett,
But
that's
whenever they
ridiculous.
finished with it, I watched it, and I fell in love with that movie so much that I couldn't stop watching. I didn't place any other movie for the at all the entire 12-hour drive.
It
Been
freaking
home. I
attached
just
your nose.
it what?
You'll see what I
Oh,
mean.
okay. So I get home and I just start for
Check
some
the
reason
chat.
I just looked up Zootopia on Twitter. I'm not sure why. And I'm not even going to check that because that's going to throw me off topic.
Just
So-
check it.
I will check it later. Don't you worry. So, all right. So I start, looking some stuff up on Twitter about it, and I come across this guy who calls himself Chad Wild, and it was an account just posting fan art. Like he would just go on DeviantArt and repost the stuff that he saw with links to the artist, of course.
All right,
So,
good.
Yeah. So I started talking with him. We got off pretty well, and then I started meeting some other people in the fandom, and unfortunately, most of them are not here to this day. They either quit Twitter or like just delete it completely, or they just don't touch it anymore. So,
No.
and one of them stabbed me in the back, but I'm not going to discuss that today.
Well,
So I was active on Chad's posts almost like every single day he put out a new one, and then I had the idea because I was also seeing some people customizing their cars. Let me clear my throat. Customizing their cars on games like Need for Speed and Forza, and so I had this idea of possibly making an account for just posting that stuff. So, and that's what became ZTR. So I continued talking to people in there. Like, not a whole lot happened there. I ended up getting some Barbie Corvette, and I like spray painted the thing and put Zootopia stuff on there. I'm currently redoing it right now. For a year now, I just haven't touched it. So
nice.
yeah. So I ended up getting my first. In fact, I actually have the first thing I ever got Zootopia related. I actually have it right here. My sister, well, actually not my sister. My mom got me this for my birthday back in 2016.
Oh, I have that exact same thing.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I found it at Barnes and Nobles.
Oh,
Yeah.
I've seen that before. Is that a book, right?
Yeah.
No, it's not a book. It's
Yeah.
more of like a
Gonna like leave it how it is because like the very first piece. So I'm just gonna like keep it all together. I even have this. Oh, I completely forgot I had this big poster in here, and a bunch of change that I had no idea was in there. So let's see what I got here. So here's the front of it. I'm not sure how well you can see it.
I can see a little bit of it.
you can,
Oh, okay.
there you go. Yeah.
That's awesome.
And on the back, there's Nick.
Yep.
Yeah.
The
Nice.
exact same thing.
So this was the very first piece of Zootopia I ever got, aside from well the movie. But merch-wise,
Right.
this is the first thing I ever got. So. Then going on in a Christmas, like people were the graphic novel came out at about October or something, if I remember correctly. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I wanted to get the graphic novel, and my mom surprised it to me on Christmas, so I still have it. It's a bit beat up over the years, but I still have it. So
Nice.
yeah, still have that. And so I was going to this guy's house for the second time. It's about March of 2017. So coming back home,
Mhm.
I was feeling a little bit depressed because I didn't really have a lot of people here that were willing to hang out with me. So, I'm home most of the time here.
Mm-hmm.
So, I brought Nick out on the plane with me, and then there was this like, then there was, I'm guessing she was like 6 years old, who was staring at me the entire plane ride. So,
But
like,
she was just staring at you.
yeah,
She didn't do anything else. Just
she's
stared.
no, she didn't just stare at me, because when she got on the plane, she yells out, "Mommy, he has a fox from Zootopia!" So I'm like, oh, okay, well, somebody
Nice.
recognizes it, but, but I,
Always gotta love the fans,
yeah.
especially Kit.
So even getting off the plane, this girl is still staring at me. She's like, they're even she and her mom are following me as well, all the way to. They weren't stalking me. Well, the kid probably was, but so they follow me all the way over to the baggage claim, and we just start talking a bit more. Apparently, they were actually visiting not far from where I live, shockingly. I was a bit surprised about that. So I was not expecting to see that day. I was kind of just expecting to go home, having a down day, just coming back. Yeah, I did not want to come back home that day, but that brightened my day.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
It's always nice to know that there are people in your area that like the same stuff as you do.
Mhm.
I can't really
Yeah,
say the
totally.
same for me because where I live, not that many people are into Disney that much, or at least not that I know of, besides myself and my family. Me and my whole family, we're just huge Disney fans, but Zootopia is number one in my book
Yeah.
when it comes to animated films. That is.
Yeah. There
I
were
have to
some
agree
other
with you on
Disney
that one,
movies
dude.
that I've liked in the past. I mean, even Pixar. I think my favorite Disney movie, it was a Pixar, but it was probably Cars 1. I used to watch that all the time when I was like 6 years old. I couldn't get enough of it. And there was this TV, there was this Lightning McQueen TV that was for sale, and my grandmother bought it for me on Christmas. I still have it. It's just sitting in another state right now at her house.
Um,
Yeah, that we might be getting rid of that, unfortunately, just due to storage issues. I'm not over there much anymore, and not only that, where it is, it's a big TV, and it's kind of taking up space now. So I might end up selling that. Unfortunately, not because I don't like it. It's just not being used, and it's just taking up space now.
mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So last year I had a similar incident with this at an airport, where I was waiting to board with him. He was coming with me up here this time. And there was this old guy. I'm guessing he was about 70 or maybe like mid 60s. He comes up to me, and he's like, "Nice coyote you have there." And I didn't think he was talking to me at first. And then Jack just said, "I think he's talking to you." I'm like, "Wait, what? I don't have a coyote here." And so then he's pointing at Nick. I'm like, "Oh, okay. He's a red fox." What?
Uh,
Yeah. Is
pretty cool.
yeah. you know, you noticed that it was kind of funny that it was. I don't know what was funnier, the fact that he's just like, I don't know, but it was an interesting day. So
Mhm.
Interesting.
Pretty
indeed.
cool.
so I don't have any more stories that to come to mind right now. So if you guys have anything you want to share?
All right. Let's go. I'll probably go third that way. Like, let's go clockwise, I suppose. Like, I guess maybe Tucker should go next.
Let Tucker go. That's counterclockwise
Oh, all
on my
right.
end. So
No, I'll go last.
All right.
Okay, well, I guess I hadn't publicly revealed my name, but yeah, I'm Tucker, otherwise known as Stuffwell. At the moment, on Twitter, I'm known as Gookwell. I only do the temporary name change for hell. That's not the point. Anyway, so
So we
yeah,
said your
I'm
name
part of
last
the
night,
fandom.
so
Um, as we all know, or should know, Zootopia, it released on March 4th. Now, at the time,
Yeah.
I was living elsewhere, quote unquote home, because now I can call this home. But anyway, yeah. See, so building up to Zootopia, I've heard about it. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. They're going back into anthropomorphic animals. Okay, that's cool. You know how it is. You see, promos, teasers, whatever for a movie. Like, okay, all right, I'll check that out, or I might check that out. Don't expect it to be good, basically.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
exactly what the case was with Zootopia. But anyway, as we all know, or should know, that it came out on March 4th of 2016. Anyway, at the time, I was working during the day in a grocery store, um, and I got off at a good time to go see it March 4th. However, I ended up not seeing it. Just for some reason, I was not in such a big hurry to go see it. But that night, I'm rolling, I'm scrolling through Twitter, and then, I'm hearing a lot of good things about it. Rotten Tomatoes gave it like 100% and all that. I'm like, oh, okay, well, shoot, I guess I ought to check it out. So the next day, I had to go and work, but I did get off at a good time to go drive across town to go and see it that Saturday night, and I was blown away. I thought it was it was really well constructed, well put together, and all that. Going in at first, I was rooting for Jennifer Goodwin. I was more familiar with Jennifer Goodwin than I was Jason Bateman. I had never heard of Jason Bateman, but Jennifer Goodwin I knew through her work from Once Upon a Time. So yeah, I knew her. I knew J.K. Simmons. Kind of semi-familiar with Idris Elba, but anyway, probably the two most familiar voices from the film when I was watching it for the first time was Jennifer Goodwin and J.K. Simmons. Anyway, so yeah, I watched it. I just loved everything about it. I mean, I probably like I probably wasn't into the fandom just then. It's like, okay, this was a really good film. I just knew that I had to see it again though, because just the level of detail in it. There's so much to see. So many little Easter eggs and all that. And I mean, even the first time when I was watching it, I was more focused on trying to solve the mystery behind who was behind the whole night howler stuff, and I actually figured it out just from my first watch. I won't, of course, get into that in case if we have people who haven't seen it. Hopefully, that's not the case, but I'm just being careful. Um, anyway, I just knew I had to go see it again, so I think it wasn't until maybe like a week or so later I went to go see it a second time. And this time, I sat back and just enjoyed it for the film it was, instead of having to, solve a mystery or whatever. And it became apparent to me that I was starting to fall for a certain character. I think it's pretty evident who that might be. So yeah, at first, I really fell in love with Nick's character. Again, I still had no idea who Jason Bateman was, but he clearly was the best choice for Nick Wilde. I love his one-liners that he just fired back at Judy and all that. He just so suave and charming in his own way, So I just there was just something about him. I liked him as a character. I want to clarify that. I liked him as a character because prior to Zootopia, I did have a little liking to foxes. It just wasn't until sometime after that liking for foxes increased. But anyway, yeah. So my early days in the fandom for Twitter, there was a group chat that I was a part of. I found other Zootopia fans, in particular Nick Wilde fans. So yeah, we would.
Yeah, there were a ton of them back then.
Oh yeah, there was
Yeah.
a lot of Nick accounts out
There were
there.
so many of them.
Well, there probably still are. So
Sure, yeah, but
It's died
not as
down
many
now, but
as
there was a
active.
lot of them
There,
there.
out of all of them, there is only one person that we Matt and Brian know personally, as a matter of
Yeah.
fact. Nowadays, he every once in a while pops back in only to post at least one thing a day, talking about Judy, basically just romantic things about Judy, like just it's just love poetry. But anyway, so originally, in the early on in the fandom, I was in this group chat. It was specifically for Nick Wilde fans. There's a lot of furries in there, but and then Nick accounts and just a lot going on. Um, I guess just over time we just went our separate ways. This account kind of got it was doing its own thing. This guy just wasn't on as much. A whole bunch of different things. I think eventually we just all one by one just left. Basically, went off and did our own things because, of course, Disney wouldn't do anything else for this movie. But beside that, uh, at least there was little things like that that kind of helped keep things alive and all that. Now, over time, for the life of me, I can't even begin to remember when, or like what year it really was. I want to say it was at least maybe 2017 that it became more evident to me when I saw more and more artwork of not just Nick but Judy. So I saw Nick and Judy together, and I saw all these sweet romantic things that they do together, and it touched my heart, and I felt like it helped me love. Like I knew what love was, but it's like I I understood what love was. It helped me to understand that, like what it truly is, what it truly means to love someone. Because I could just see, maybe even feel, just by looking at this artwork, that I felt like it was radiating. Their love was radiating off of one another, and I felt it too. It's like, okay, I really love this artwork. Um, so it just the more I saw it, the more I felt, okay, look, I love Nick, but you know what? As much as I love Nick, I love Nick and Judy together, and and I love seeing them working together. I love seeing them, doing romantic things through this artwork, through fan fiction, and it really has inspired me. So that's kind of one of the reasons why it and how it inspired me to write for Wild Hunt Tales. I know recently I haven't been really posting any, and I ought to get on a regular schedule. But yeah, it just seeing these two together, I feel like I can get into Nick's head and just really think, how would he feel about Judy? What would he say about Judy if he had like a romantic relationship with her? And we see through the film that they work together as if they're as if they've been friends for a very long time. And we know that's not the case, but there's just something there that wasn't there before, if I may. It's. I, Zootopia is a world that doesn't have magic. I believe the magic is Nick and Judy's relationship, and possibly, if Disney will confirm it, hopefully they will, maybe at some point, that they actually are in a romantic relationship. I really do see that between these two. Anyway, so it wasn't until later on. Actually, you know what? It was the beginning of this year. Um, one of us, I don't know who, but one of us organized a group chat because over time, what happened is that I met other people, and I'll get into that later. But where we are right now is that earlier this year, I believe in January, there were certain people that we gathered up. I don't know how we gathered these certain people up and formed
We
a
assembled.
group chat on Twitter. That group chat has long since been disbanded, and just we've all went our separate ways. We kind of split somehow. I don't know. Stuff happens. But point is, we at least now have a all new chat with most of us still together. But anyway, going forwards, it wasn't. Let's see. It was the year was March 1st, 2017, and and Zootopia had just won an Oscar. Something that we all were hoping for, and I'm sure for some of us, most of us, we were hoping that this would mean that Disney would promote Zootopia more, maybe give us more content. Sadly, that wasn't the case. But anyway, that night, March 1st of 2017, I was actually hoping to listen to a podcast, semi-perfect podcast by AC Race Best. I usually don't listen to podcasts, especially his, but this one in particular I was interested in because I wanted to hear his thoughts on Zootopia winning, the Oscars. Seeing as he didn't post a reaction to that, which surprises me. Anyway, so yeah, weeks earlier, I had gotten this DM from Dewey up there, or actually he's right here because I'm looking at the live stream. Dewey, who's actually Matt over there.
Hey.
Now, I got a DM from him. He says, hey, you just look like a really cool guy, so here's my number. There's something I wanted to tell you. So I'm like, okay, so that's sketchy. All right, who would just straight up give somebody else a phone number out like that? But it took weeks, right? And this one particular night, March 1st, I'm waiting for this podcast to go through because internet, it happens, streaming issues, and maybe you just can't hear everything everyone's saying. But the point is, I'm just sitting here looking up this message, and I'm like, all right, what's next? What this guy wants. So then, I go ahead and text him my number, and what I don't expect, Nick, was that he calls me. So Matt over here, he calls me, and we just talking for hours and hours. And
Oh man.
it must have been like 3, maybe 4 in the morning. I can't even remember for the life of me. It was either 3 or 4 in the morning, and we talked just for hours because there was just so much we found that we had in common. But it wasn't until later that at the time I was actually working nights at that same grocery store, and their policies were pretty loose when it came to cell phones. So hey, look, they didn't care if you listened to music, they didn't care if you were watching something while you worked, just as long as you got the work done. They didn't even care if you were podcast or talking on the phone. So, and that's exactly what I proposed to Matt. It at first started as like an almost nightly thing to just Saturday nights. Me and Matt, we eventually did just Saturday nights. Brian, I don't know how you found us exactly. I know it was through Twitter, but you kept on tagging us through stuff. It mostly Main Street Electrical Parade stuff.
Yeah.
I know that.
Okay, I don't remember that, but all right.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I know that you pretty much just followed us, and Matt and me, we talked about, hey, well, this guy, he keeps on tagging us through stuff. I know eventually he asked if it's okay that if he could join our calls, and that eventually happened about maybe a year and a half ago, I think.
March 11th of last year was when we first started.
Yeah, it was last March. Yeah.
All right. So yeah, that's how it started for the three of us. At some point or another, Garrett joined us too. Yeah, so then it just became Saturday nights. Me, Matt, and Brian mostly. We just became really close. We're into like most of the same stuff and all that.
Absolutely.
Earlier
Yep.
this year, we had somebody else join us who is not with us tonight. He seems to be busy with work, but nonetheless,
He
it
might
just
be able
seems
to
that
join us for Saturday or Friday.
Yeah, we'll see.
yeah, but nonetheless, it seems that our little group is constantly growing. Who knows if we're going to get any more ZTR members or any more ZPD Team ZPD members, is as we call them through the new chat. So yeah, that pretty much is how I got into it as a nutshell. I'm currently wearing the first Zootopia shirt that I ordered online. You know, I saw this and it's like I have to have that because one of the very first things that I thought that Disney should sell is Nick's popsicles, and you know, of course, they never got around to doing that. But see, what little did I know is that that was the very first idea that I had that would eventually blossom into the multitude of ideas I have for Zootopia Land. And of course, now currently they are building that in Shanghai Disneyland. So who knows if half of those plans are actually coming to fruition. I guess at this point they're more predictions than they are ideas. But I will not let it be said that currently I am actually working part-time for Disney. So, you know, I could possibly write those ideas down, submit them to Imagineering, and maybe something might happen. I'm hearing that maybe that, you know, they'd like to bring Zootopia Land over here anyway. So,
Yeah, they should. They should.
which, you know, since popsicles, yeah, another thing I ordered online, totally plastic. This I actually made. Oops. I actually call this a lollipop, and that's exactly what it is. It's a lollipop. It's all wrapped up right now. But yeah, I have made a frozen version. You know, so that your popsicles, actual popsicles. And they're honestly the best popsicles I've ever had. I've never had to buy store
Shameless plugs.
popsicles after that, but yeah.
They're very delicious, by the way. When you give it to me in your apartment, that was really, really good.
I unfortunately can't say the same because I'm not really into fruits, unfortunately.
And yeah, you could probably see some of my Zootopia collection up here. This is I have like loads more than this. But yeah, this is just a temporary setup right now, seeing as we're having these live streams all this week. So, but yeah, that is that long-winded backstory of how I got into the got into Zootopia. Hoping that it, you know, to see a lot more from Disney. For some reason, I can't even fathom why, but for some reason, it seems like it's been pushed aside over to the wayside over here in the U.S., and I can't ever fathom why that is. But yeah, you know, at least we have people like us that are really passionate about it, and hopefully we can keep trucking along until we finally get what we've all been waiting for. So.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Indeed.
All right, so Brian, you want to go next?
All right, sounds good to me. I guess I'll go next on how I got into this whole crazy thing known as the Zootopia fandom. So, So for me, for what started my love for Zootopia, or well, basically just to start me off. So I did see. I first watched the teaser trailer for the film back in the summer of 2015. I don't know if I watched the trailer the day it came out. I might have, but I'm not entirely sure. But either way, I did see the trailer at some point during that summer, and then later that winter, when I was at Walt Disney World at night, I think I did see like one of the monorails go by that was decked out for Zootopia at the time. To that point, it was at night, I think, because that's when I was most active then, because that's when the electrical parade was at Disney, and I was just trying to see it again. And when I was walking out, yeah, I saw one of the monorails go by, and I was like, oh yeah, completely forgot about that film somewhat. So my mind was kind of like hazy during those past few months. And then around, I believe it was around New Eve of 2015 is when the second trailer for it released. I watched it, and after I saw it, I was like, wow, this actually looks really good. Because my original reaction to the teaser trailer for the film was like, all right, this looks like a cute Disney movie. I might potentially go see it. And then after I saw the next trailer, I was like, wow, this is actually looking better than I thought it would. So I think I'm definitely going to go check this out. It looks funny. It looks imaginative. It looks cute. All the things that you basically want in the Disney movie, or at least in my opinion.
Yeah.
And then the movie did release. Unfortunately for me, and I'm very ashamed of myself, I did not see the movie in theaters until mid-April. I think it was April 17th is when I first saw it in the theater. And after I watched it, I just came out of the theater going, holy moly, that was, I think, now my favorite film of all time, or at least in the top 5. I was not expecting it to be that good. I honestly was expecting it to be like just maybe an average film. I mean, heck, even Disney themselves thought that Zootopia was going to be basically like the side movie that no one was going to really be about that much. That was going to go to Moana, which released later in the year. But no, it was the exact opposite. Zootopia was the blockbuster for them that year, and then Moana was just basically the average run-of-the-mill Disney princess movie that everyone basically knows or doesn't really care about that.
Disney kind of makes a big deal about those movies.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit too much.
And yet Moana is getting more attention than Zootopia right now, which is, at least in the US, that is. But that's besides the point. So, but the thing is, for me, I only saw the movie in theaters that one time. And after that, now, I mean, in today's date, as of now, I am very ashamed of myself that I did not see it again, or at least multiple times. Because I have seen movies in theaters multiple times. Like recently, I've seen. This was like a record for me. I have seen Avengers Endgame 4 individual times in the theater because it was just so good to me. And I can promise that when Zootopia 2 hopefully releases, I will definitely be going to see it a lot more often. Hopefully more than Avengers, and hopefully maybe once a week until it leaves theaters and then comes out on home media. But anyway, so I waited until the summer, June 7th of 2016, when the movie released on digital and DVD. And I was really looking forward to it. And at the time, I was actually getting ready to go to South America on a school trip to the Galapagos Islands with a class that I was participating in. And I figured, oh, well, if it's releasing right before I leave, I guess I can rewatch the movie for the first time on the plane down there. And I did, and it was really great. I ended up like watching the film over and over again all the time when I was down there in Ecuador. It was really fun. It was a really great way to pass the time on the plane. And then when I came back, I just told my folks that I am now in love with this movie, and they know how much of a big Disney fan that I am, because I'm really kind of the main reason that we keep going to the Disney parks year after year. And they accepted it, and I was very thankful that they appreciated that I was in love with this movie, or at least in love with it, not in a weird way. But anyway, so then the end of 2016 rolls around, and then the beginning of 2017 comes, and that's when I think late 2016 to early 2017 when I first started to see fan art that people were putting out there. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't know that people were actually drawing like their own stuff for this movie. And then I started looking at them, and I was like, wow, a lot of these are actually really good. And eventually, like Tucker said earlier, I eventually discovered people drawing Nick and Judy together in romantically, and I just, after a certain amount of time, I realized that these two were meant for each other. Like, just looking at the amount of affection that they were giving to each other in these, I mean, it's only fan art, but at the same time, it does feel like that's how it is meant to be, in my opinion. And when I thought about it more, and based on how the film ended with them saying, like, Nick started out saying, "You know you love me," and then Judy went, "Do I know that? Yes, I do." At the time, when I did see the film, I originally thought that they meant that platonically as friends, but the more I thought about it, the more I couldn't help but think, are they teasing us that they could potentially form a romantic relationship in, like, a sequel, maybe? Because, I mean, I know that the directors left their relationship ambiguous, hopefully to be safe for the sequel. And, yeah, so after I saw all the fan art, I was just like, I was completely on board the Wild Hop ship at that point, and I still am to this day. I'm proud to be one. For any haters out there, you can back off, because I'm not ever going to get off this ship.
ZTR will roast you
Yeah.
like I did a few months ago.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, so that was basically, at that point, that's when I got into the Wild Hops, really. And then later that year, in the summer, in June of 2017, I was actually planning a very first trip out to California. And while I was going to be out there, I was going to be going to Disneyland for the first time. Because during that year, that's when they sent the Main Street Electrical Parade back to Disneyland Park for the first time. And so that was actually the main reason why I went out there. But before I did go out there, I downloaded the Disneyland app on my phone to, like, see if I could gather any new information about, like, certain things at the parks out in California before we went there, so that way we could be better prepared. While I was looking through the meet and greet characters that they had available at Disneyland, scrolling through California Adventure, and I came across that they were having meet and greets, Nick and Judy, at California Adventure. My mind just, like, lost it. I was like, oh my goodness. Main Street Electrical Parade and Zootopia in the same trip. It's perfect. So when we did go out there from June 12th and the 13th, specifically remember that, the week of the parade's 45th anniversary, the first day I was there, I met Judy individually. They normally meet together, but for some reason when I was there this certain time of the year, they were not. So the first day I was there, I saw Judy only once. I only saw her once. I really wish that I had seen them more, but I only for some reason saw them once. And then the following day, only Nick was there, and also I forgot to mention, back in March of or February of late February of 2017, I was waiting for the Oscars to come on, and I was rooting for Zootopia, and I just kept all my fingers crossed. And I just kept, right before they announced it, I just said, please Zootopia. And then when they did say that Zootopia won, I literally just jumped up in the air in that, oh my God, they did it. They made it. It's the number one movie of all time in terms of animated for 2016, and so I was really happy for that. And I, like Tucker said earlier, I thought that would have been like the turning point for Zootopia to hopefully get more attention, but unfortunately that was not the case for some unknown reason. But anyway, back to what I was saying for Disneyland. While I was out there, when I met each of them individually, I said, congratulations on the movie winning an Oscar, and that the film really deserved it, and they were just so happy for me to say that, and then we just hugged it out, and it was really great. I only saw each of them once. I was out there that summer, but that was actually the very first time that I ever met them, because Walt Disney World at the time did not have meet and greets for them. The only place you could see them was the
Move It, Shake It, Dance and Play It at the time.
Yeah.
I guess since we're talking about that, the first time I saw him was during the Move It, Shake It, Dance and Play It, and in 2016, my sister, she wanted to go to Disney World for her birthday, and well, her birthday just so happened to be on the same exact day that Zootopia released on DVD, or on home media, really. So I was trying to really make it more about her than I was about Zootopia. It was kind of hard to do that, but I at least was able to go see the fox himself, Nick Wilde, because at that time I was all more about Nick than I was about Judy. So I saw him in the Move It, Shake It, Dance and Play It. And I even picked up my copy of Zootopia over at Disney Springs, so that was really special because that was probably like the first movie that I ever bought at Disney. And it wasn't until later on in the year that they had more permanent meet and greets for them at Christmas here over Walt Disney World. For those of you who don't know, Walt Disney World is, I should say, infamous for not having a proper permanent meet and greet for Nick and Judy. I just cannot see why it's. I don't see why it's so hard for them to just follow through with something like that. I mean, they have like meet and greets for Mickey and Minnie for all of their parks, and yet they can't say, okay, look, guys, we know that you're our two main icons. Can you just move aside and we put these two in this place for now? I do not understand it at all.
I don't know.
Hopefully in the future they should do that.
But you were saying,
yeah, anyway, so as I was saying, so yeah, Disneyland was the very first time that summer when I very first met them, and I was so happy that I finally met them, because at the time, in 2016, I don't think I ever did see them out in the parade at Walt Disney World. I was a little, to this day, I still don't understand why I never saw. I guess it's just because at the time I just wasn't really interested in the parade. I think that's
more of a dance party.
Right, yeah. I mean, it's still considered a parade, but yeah, it's dance party parade.
It's like a hybrid, so
yeah.
Sure.
It was, yeah, I think that summer is when I first learned that they were in it, and I was like, oh, well, if they're in that, then I guess I might as well attend that more so I can see them more often whenever I go. So, after Disneyland, it wasn't until December of 2017, or maybe, no. Sometime in basically like the third or last quarter of 2017 is when I met, through Twitter, I met Tucker and Matt. I don't know how I ever found them. I don't know why. I guess I just like saw them tagged in like a post or something like that, and then for some reason I just started talking to them more. And then we were just casual friends online for a few months. And then December of 2017 comes around, and then I go see Nick and Judy again at Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, and it was the first time I ever attended a Christmas party since I think 2009. So it was really good going back to see them. That's the only thing I did that night, December 19th, 2017. I just kept getting back in line over and over to see them again, and they were just so happy that I just kept coming back. And I just told them that I'm just such a huge fan, and you guys are the main reason why I came to the party tonight. And they were just so honored. And it was sad that I had to say goodbye to them that night. And then eventually, a few months later, in March of 2018, just after the film's second anniversary, is when I began my usual weekly calls. That's the right word. With Tucker and Matt, I eventually got up the courage to say, "Hey, do you guys mind if I join you?" And they were like, "Sure." And we just really hit it off. We found that we also had a lot in common and how much we all love Zootopia. It was really great that year. And then going forward, I kept seeing Nick and Judy at Walt Disney World during the dance party thing at Magic Kingdom. And then the summer of some point during that time, I started meeting other people, whether being just normal fans or people who were actually creating content such as like comic dubs or just normal comics for the fandom, and I started to become more involved in them with the fandom. Really, that's really like that. 2018 was really when I really started to like get involved with the fandom when it came to like my own stuff, I suppose. I don't know, but so let's see, 28 year. Not that much happened last year. I mean, last year I started putting out comic dubs, and I think last year is also when I started to get into my own Zootopia fan art. Unfortunately, I don't post that much of it because, well, just to keep it on the stream, I can't really release it because it's copyright, so I can't really release it, and I don't want to, for the purpose of making sure that the copyright does not get out there and not upset anyone for that reason. So I will not be posting any copyrighted artwork claiming that I made it, or even if I said original artwork, I'm not gonna put out stuff like that. So don't even ask me to do that. So, and then eventually I started watching live streams from a few content creators who, I'm not going to say who, because at this point with our relationship it's really edgy, or not really a thing anymore. But I eventually started getting into more watching these live streams with people, and then I wanted to I found out I could join them, and I figured I might as well like see if I can do that for a specific amount of time. And I did for a month, and then they just stopped doing the streams altogether. And then it just, from there, the relationship that we had, I mean, we were becoming pretty decent friends. And at one point, our friendships just snapped. Specifically earlier this year, or earlier in the summer, and it was just a low point for me, and I just felt that I didn't really know if I had a purpose for being in the fandom at that point, because after that I didn't know, because like I wasn't putting out that much original content, and I thought, I don't know if I should continue going on in the fandom. But I had friends to back me up, saying like, you can push through, just forget about them. And it was really great. And luckily it was at the beginning of the summer, so I only had to wait a few weeks. And then recently, a few months ago, I went back to Disneyland for my high school graduation, and this time I made sure to continue seeing Nick and Judy over and over again at California Adventure, and it was just great. I got some of the best reactions that I've ever gotten from those two. Like, Nick especially, he was just like basically like a big old softie whenever I saw him. He just brought me in, and then we just hugged it out. It was great. And even after weeks, this was like 3 weeks had gone by, and he remembered me from all those times that I saw him. And every time that I came back, he and Judy were just so happy to see me, and completely forgot about those bad times. And I was reminded, this is why I'm part of this fandom and why I love this movie, is because it just brings me joy so much to see these characters, because they helped me get through some rough times when I was in high school, and they're still doing so today now that I'm in college, and it's getting rough, and I just need them and a lot of my friends there, and luckily we have been there for each other, and it was just so great. And going forward, I'm really hoping to hopefully put out more stuff in the future. I know that this December I will be going back to Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party and seeing them again. So if there's any of my minifigs watching, you can expect a compilation of me seeing them at the Christmas party later on in December. But I actually just realized I never really talked about like my initial thoughts or more thoughts about like the movie itself. So originally going in, I was originally in terms of voice actors, I knew who J.K. Simmons was, and I actually at that point I did know who Jason Bateman was, mainly because of the fact that he the previous summer narrated a documentary about the history of Lego. And when I heard that he was cast in Zootopia, I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. I think I may have heard of Jason before, but it probably was a little while since I had seen any of his work. But after I saw Zootopia, I originally went in thinking that I was going to be rooting for Judy the most, because she's the protagonist, and and I did root for her for a lot of the movie. But then when Nick started like showing like his softer side, and then he got into his backstory, I was just in the theater watching his past, and I was like, wow, I think I connect more with Nick than Judy, because he and I are kind of treated similarly. I have a mental disorder, and he's a fox, which are apparently in society aren't really looked upon that greatly. And we kind of had similar pasts where we were bullied a lot and just treated misfairly. And to this day, I kind of still am, but it's not as bad as it was when I was a kid. But I just really connected with Nick, and over time, I just learned to appreciate him more, and he eventually opened me up to realize that not just him, but foxes in general, because before I'd never really had an interest for foxes, but after getting to learning more about him, my love for foxes just opened up, and I have to thank him for that. Over time, I just thought of him as like someone I could, if he was real, like someone I could actually talk to and consider him as like a brother or family, because I felt like at certain points when I was in a low point that they were the only things that I could go to just watch the movie and just think like everything's going to be okay. They got through it, you can get through it. It was a very emotional thing for me. And I mean, even some points at Disneyland, and I'm not trying to be weird or anything, but at certain points at Disneyland, whenever he and I were just hugging, like there was at one point I had an argument with someone online, one of those people that unfortunately backstabbed me somewhat. I was luckily at Disneyland, and I was seeing him, and then he just brought his arms, or he just opened his arms, and I just slowly walked up to him, and then I hugged him. And the two of us never expected it, but we hugged for like 30 seconds straight, and he could tell something was wrong, because I kind of had my mood was a little different, and then he just started comforting me, telling me, don't worry about people online, everything's going to be okay. And for a few moments, I, for some reason, kind of thought of him as like a dad to me, because I don't have a father anymore after my parents got a divorce years and years ago. So I just, at certain points, I really consider him as family to me, and as well, because she has also taught me to just stay positive and continue doing the best that I can, and just always have hope, and that everything, hopefully moving on in the future, will be great. And that's why I do want a sequel to happen, to see like what other messages they can sell or put out to the audience, saying like, just keep going, don't lose hope, and just try everything, like the theme song for the movie goes. And it's just been great moving forward, and I really hope that it continues, meeting new people. Hopefully seeing more fan art of Wild Hops. It's been an incredible journey, ups and downs along the way, but it's been such an incredible journey these last almost, I guess, 4 years, since the summer of 2015. And that's really how I got into the fandom today, how I'm involved and everything. It's just, I'm really proud of how far I've come and how far I've matured thanks to this film. So I think that's really all that I can say about me and Zootopia, basically. And besides, well, all the merchandise that I've been trying to get, whether that being like paintings or drawings or commissions or just pins from the Disney parks or anywhere else. I'm just trying to get it all because I just want to further my love for this movie and never, hopefully, let it go and never let it lose its place as #1 in my book. So that's really all there is to me.
All right. So we have time for one more tonight. Matt, do you have any stories you'd like to share with us?
I do. So,
You there?
yeah, so you got.
You're kind of a little quiet.
Oh, really?
Yeah. What's that?
Can you guys?
It's still a little faint, but we can hear you though. I don't know. Yeah, I don't hear anything at all now.
I barely hear anything.
Hmm. Do you have your volume setting changed, Matt? Why am I hearing it back? Oh, this just completely went down the drain. I can't hear anything from him now.
What about now? Can you guys?
Okay, I kind of heard you. It's still the same quality as before. Do you have your device close to you, Matt? If not, try moving closer to it so it can pick you up more.
Okay, what about?
Still the same, in my opinion.
Hmm.
For those of you watching, sorry, we're having a little technical difficulties at the moment.
All right, what about now?
That's
That
better.
sounds a little bit better, yeah.
Hmm.
Are you using a headset?
Yeah, try using headphones. That'll hopefully help.
That's what
I heard something. Jeez, if we were doing this on Google Hangouts, we would not be having these problems.
I came across with problems all the time on Google Hangouts.
What's
Well,
up?
there didn't seem to be that many problems when we did the 3-year anniversary stream.
Not that time, but the other podcasts I did in the past, just for the furry stuff, it was a problem almost every single stream that we did.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's somewhat.
Also,
Sound
sharing
like-
live with us. This is a Jack fell asleep, but this is a distorted. I'm not sure if this. I don't think it's gonna pick it up.
If the brightness would be down.
Hold on, I'm gonna try and turning my brightness down and see if I can. Nope.
Too
What's
bright.
wrong
What
with
about?
this
Can you guys hear
thing?
me
This
now?
is a distorted Levi Wild.
That's a little better.
This is a distorted Levi Wild.
My goodness.
So you guys.
And so if you
Yeah,
guys
we can
were
kind of
wondering,
hear that.
if you guys were wondering why we were laughing earlier, here is another photo here of Matt's frozen screen. Well, actually, that's not really much of a distorted image, but this is.
See, I think it may get better quality if we. Yeah, this is the image we were referring to. That right here is Matt's. Kind of looks like the I don't know. It reminded me of that He-Man meme. So
Matt, try logging off and then coming back on. Maybe that'll help. If you can hear me. Sorry, folks. We're just trying to. We're trying to
Yeah,
fix the
we're trying our
quality.
best.
Yeah.
Okay, what about now?
Okay,
That's
now
better.
we're okay. Now
That's
it's
much
working.
better.
So
Okay, man, Discord is so weird.
well, it's new for what we're using now. We had no choice but to ditch Hangouts, so they just canceled it for YouTube. So it's
Dang it.
just,
Dang it.
I'd be using Hangouts right now if this problem wasn't here. So
Okay, I just want to make sure you guys can still hear me, right?
yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you crystal clear now.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
So we have time for one more story. So Matt, do you have
Alright.
anything?
Let's go, man. I'm ready. Yeah. So, 2013, like, this is the first time I've heard about this movie. So, because they said that that Byron Howard was going to be the director for this film, and then like Jason Bateman was going to be the character, like the main character or whatever, you know. And see, like, because that's cool that Byron Howard got into this project, because before Zootopia, one of my favorite Disney movies was Bolt. That was one of my favorite Disney films.
Yeah, Bolt was a good
I
one.
love that movie so much. I used to love that movie. I mean, I still do, of course. But when I heard about him directing this movie, I was like, okay, that sounds interesting. So, you know, like because like they had that like that D23 in 2013 with that like concept picture and stuff like that, and they said like Nick was gonna be like the main character, stuff like that. I'm just like, man, okay, let's see how this is gonna be. And then it wasn't like until 2015 where they did the like they give this like what Brian said, like that teaser trailer when like the time before like Inside Out was coming out and stuff like that. And I was like, okay, this looks pretty cool, right? Like and then like it wasn't until like D23 of that year, and then like, you know, they said like, the main story instead of Nick Wilde is going to be, you know, Judy Hopps. I was like, okay, like they're going to switch the story. I'm like, all right. And then they said that Rich Moore was going to be in this because, you know, I loved him as a director for Wreck-It Ralph. That was also one of my other favorite Disney films before this was coming out. So I was like, wow, these two directors making two of my favorite Disney films. Like, that's going to be interesting to see. I'm like, okay. So, yeah, and then, like, they said that Shakira was going to be in this too because she's one of my favorite pop musicians. I love Shakira so much. She's a legend. And I was like, okay. And yeah, and then like like what Brian said, like there's like those trailers and stuff like that, and then like 2016, I watched it like 4 times because before that, Finding Dory was my most anticipated movie that year because I loved Finding Nemo because that's like one of my favorite Pixar films of all time. So, and then
Same.
like yeah, nice. So,
That was actually
so
the very first movie I saw in a theater, by the way.
no kidding,
Yep.
such a great movie. So. So anyway, yeah, so I saw this movie 4 times and I was watching this with my cousin Joey. And like I was just like blown away too. I was just like, wow, like this movie already just became my favorite movie that year, like of that 2016. I was like, this is such an amazing movie. I watched it with my coworker Joey. I watched it with my friend John and my mom, and we all loved it. All of us, we all loved the movie. Um, and then like yeah, and then like the movie won the Oscars and stuff like that. And let me just tell you guys something about that real quick too. So before, because 'cause with me I work at a fitness place, so I used to close Sunday nights from 6 to 9. And like that Oscar night was the night before, and I was waiting so impatiently for that category. Um, and then like so in here in Chicago, I was going to this restaurant called Portillo's. It's like a burger place, stuff like that. Um, and like when I was driving there, I was like listening to my music, and every time when I listen to music, I always have my phone muted. So like when I was about to play the next song, I got a message from my cousin from Canada. She messaged me. She was like, "Matt, Zootopia won the Oscar." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was jumping out of my mom's car like with excitement. My dog got scared. He was like, "Oh my god, like what's going on?" So it was amazing how that all came to be. And then like and then yeah, and then like what Tucker said, like me and him, we met through each other and stuff like that. Like thanks to this movie, like like me and him became like such amazing friends, and like we started talking like every week and stuff like that, and it just became so close. And then Brian, we talked to you a year after, like what Tucker said earlier, and it was just like everything just became so amazing. Like how it all came to be, how I all like met you guys, and we all did this like group chats and stuff like that. I have merchandise, but I can't show you guys because my video is being weird. So you just guys gonna see my Dewey picture for now. So, um, but yeah, it was such an amazing movie. I loved it. Everybody did such a phenomenal job. Like Jennifer Goodwin, Jason Bateman, everybody did phenomenal in this movie. It was on point. And like this is easily the best world building I have ever seen in a Disney film history. It was phenomenal. I love the music, I love the acting, everything. Animation was just phenomenal. And then like I said, the fandom I met, these guys are just incredible. And I love you guys so much. Like, you guys are like my brothers to me, and you guys really matter to me a lot. And I'm so thankful right now to have you guys of my life right now, like for real. And it's fantastic, and we'll definitely keep on growing, definitely keep on doing what we're doing, and it's just strong. It's amazing. It's a blessing. So yeah, and we can't wait for the sequel and stuff like that. And there you go. Yeah, that's the Zootopia story right there.
Yeah. It's been a very fun ride
Yep, it has.
Definitely.
these last now 3.5 years.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, and also I was really happy to meet the characters at Disney World 2 years ago too, 2017. That was like the first and last time I've only seen them. So hopefully I get to see them again soon. So.
Yeah.
And every time when I was talking to Tucker on the phone, I'm like, Tucker, man, is the move and chicken still gonna happen, bro? I was getting like so nervous. I was like, is this thing still gonna happen? Because I really want to see Nick and Judy so bad. And like like, 'cause every time when I used to go to Magic Kingdom, like it always rains and stuff like that. And I was like, oh my god, I hope it doesn't rain on me. I really want to see these characters. So I got lucky. Yeah, it was awesome. So.
Then there
Well,
was
at least
Hurricane
it's just-
Irma.
Wait, what?
I said then there was Hurricane Irma.
Oh,
Oh wow.
yeah.
But yeah, it was a ride.
Yep. We're gonna keep on going.
Oh yeah.
And luckily, the three of us were able to see each other at the end of July to early August. That was great. It's too bad that we didn't go on Friday and saw Nick and Judy together. I really wish we could
Yeah.
have, but oh well.
But the main thing is, at least I saw you guys, and it's a memory I'll never forget. So.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And we're gonna keep trying to make those memories in the future. More meetups.
That's right. Absolutely.
I still haven't
So-
been to Disney World yet.
You gotta get there soon.
Yeah.
I'm
Especially
trying.
after 50.
Hopefully that'll finally
We
be
got the two
broken
best.
in Tokyo of all places. So, I'm really
Maybe.
looking forward to the end of this year, so I'll be able to do that.
You at least have the two best Walt Disney World experts right here. So
Yeah,
Yep.
that is true. These guys were literally my guides. These guys are like literally like my real life maps.
Yep.
It was
Kind of us
fantastic.
are- we know the parks really well.
Yep. Well, you can probably tell me what to expect when I go up there.
Yeah, we can. Well, yeah, Walt Disney World, that is. And if you're looking for info on Disneyland, then you'll definitely want to come to me, because I'm the one that's been going there
and I
the
haven't
most lately.
I
I know
haven't
those.
been since 2005. Yeah, that was the last time I was at Disneyland. So that's about
2005.
Yeah, during the 50th anniversary over there.
14.
been to Disneyland
14.
until
Yes,
that day.
14 years.
Yep.
So long, isn't it?
Yep.
So
When
many
you go
years.
back, you're gonna love it.
I bet.
Yeah, definitely. I want to see this place too. I haven't seen it for a while either.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So it is currently.
Probably after midnight at this point.
Well,
Yeah. Well, it's
12:02.
12:02 now. So
Ah,
Hurricane Irma. So.
Wow.
hmm.
So anyway, guys, to those that are watching the stream, thank you for taking time out of your night, and thank you three for taking time out of your night to join once again.
Thank
Please
you.
do let people know that we're doing this. I'd like to see more people on these streams. See, we've got like what 5? Yeah, I guess 5 nights left of this. So for the week. So
Yep. 5 more, but they're gonna all be great.
Yeah. So we're gonna end the stream here in like a minute or so. But for a few seconds, please enjoy a distorted Levi Wild.
Didn't you show that earlier?
Yeah, I'm showing it again.
Wow.
Wow.
I'll see about making Friday, Saturday. I can't make any promises, can't make any guarantees, but I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, but we'll
Right, of
try our
course.
best.
Of course.
You just do what you gotta do. If work gets in the way, then that's what comes first. Especially if it's at Disney. Can't really complain if you're working at Disney.
Oh yeah.
It's worth it though.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think that particularly wraps up this stream, right?
Yep, it wraps up this stream for tonight. So anyway, be sure to check all these guys out on
Tell your
Twitter.
friends, tell your family, and look, just let them know that this is happening. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, we love to see more people join us for these streams. in the live chat
Yes.
if anyone should.
Anyone who's
Ah.
watching the stream, go door to door. Tell your neighbors to come watch.
Way of putting it.
The more the merrier.
Yeah.
Mhm. All right. Well, then I guess this wraps up the stream. So we want to thank everyone out there tonight for watching. We hope to see
thank
you
you guys so much.
tomorrow night for our next stream. I'm not entirely sure what the topic is, but I guess
I can pull that up right here. That
Alright.
was a reaction to unnecessary censorship.
Oh, how many people did you get any reactions sent in or no?
I'm like the only one that has anything done.
Oh.
So it's
Well,
probably
like I said,
just
I
gonna.
did do a reaction, but I didn't have much of a reaction,
Yeah.
so it wasn't.
I'm just gonna put mine out there and see where it goes, I guess.
All right.
Yeah.
Sounds good to me.
And plus, it'll be easier on my phone as well, because that's what I'm editing off of right now. I use my computer. I'm started using my computer for a lot of it now, but most of it is still done on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be a lot easier since running low on phone space, so I can just quickly put a few stuff in.
All right.
Interesting.
Well then, with that being said, we thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you tomorrow night for what comes next for the Zootopia Week 2019.
Yep, day 3. So,
Yep.
anyway guys, from ZTR HQ, we are now signing off.
Oh yeah, they can't see me, so okay.